Good morning, everybody. We'll start off with our safety disclaimer. These classes and what I say are not medical advice. Please consult with your healthcare professionals before making changes to manage your health. This presentation does not represent Parkinson Canada's endorsement of products or treatment related to Parkinson's disease. This presentation is meant to provide general information. If you have specific questions about managing Parkinson's disease for yourself or others, contact info@parkinson.ca, or you can always call our 1-800 number, and that number is 1-800-565-3000. That's 1-800-565-3000. All right, well, hello everybody. This is your at-home workout class number 47, I believe. Oh my goodness, we're making progress here. This is brought to you by Parkinson Canada. My name is Lance Letain. I am the events coordinator for Parkinson Canada here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. If you're new to this class, welcome. It's great to have you on board. If you're a veteran of these classes over the past few months, I really want to thank you for your support. So these live classes are being brought to you now for the month of August. They are going to be every Tuesday and Thursday, and those times are going to be at 8 a.m. Central Time. That is 9 o'clock Eastern, and of course 10 o'clock on the Atlantic coast. In Saskatchewan and Alberta, we are looking at a time of 7 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the morning in beautiful British Columbia. But as I say, there is no better way to start your day than with exercise. Also, it means that you have no excuses that you're going to miss your exercise class, because if it's the first thing in the morning, you have no excuse but to do the exercises. So now you're being held accountable. So yes, these past classes for the last month, it was part of the Parkinson Canada Superwalk Movement Challenge. It's a program that's designed to help encourage you to get you 150 minutes of exercise per week. And for the month of August, the challenge is the 100,000 step challenge. So if you have a Fitbit and you're going to be a part of the Parkinson Canada Superwalk on Saturday, August the 12th, why not register for the movement challenge? There's some awesome prizes to be won, and it's just challenging yourself as well. I kind of like to do that. So these classes are also recorded. So if you don't find them live, you can find them recorded, and they are posted on the Parkinson Canada YouTube channel. Every single class that we've ever done has been posted on there. And you can also find these classes on the Parkinson Canada Manitoba Facebook group page. That is a mouthful. So yes, all the classes are posted there. If you're feeling strong and you're feeling up to it, check out one of the classes. I hope you have as much fun as I had making them for you. Speaking of the Parkinson Canada Superwalk, yes, it is a virtual walk this year. It's going to be held on Saturday, September the 12th. And when I say virtual walk, what we're suggesting, what we're encouraging you to be doing is to still do all your fundraising. And then on Saturday, August the 12th, walking in a neighborhood that you feel really comfortable in, that you're able to celebrate it in with your family and friends and people who you know are healthy. This year we cannot, under the current health pandemic that we're living through, we cannot have a large collective gathering like we have in the past. But still, we're able to do this virtually, and if you can record yourself, take some pictures, we will be celebrating everybody's walk throughout the month of September. And yes, also there is going to be an opening ceremony. There's going to be some more information about that coming out before too long, but there's going to be an opening ceremonies from coast to coast to coast, and it'll be a lot of fun. We're quite looking forward to it. So like I said, there's going to be some more information. You will be able to check it out when the day arrives. So I just want to talk to you about some of the benefits of exercise, keeping it fairly general for today. Encourages social interaction. Us, for example, right now, we're, although it's virtual, we are engaging socially. And as we get older, well, we know that some of the issues of being lonely and being hard to get around, to being able to connect with like-minded people. So when you are going to exercise classes, eventually, or through these virtual classes, we are able to connect, and we feel like we belong together. Exercise also increases your energy level. Just think of it as a bank. You put money in, you're going to get some interest. When you're exercising, you're going to burn off the energy, but the good thing is you're going to get all that energy back with interest. So you're going to get some more energy on top of that, giving you the energy to do the things that you really like to do. That's going to decrease fatigue. It's going to improve your sleep patterns. That stands to reason. You're exercising, you're working hard, you're going to be tired. It's going to allow you to fall asleep faster and have a deeper sleep for longer. We all know that as we get older, it does get more challenging to have that really nice, long, deep sleep. But with exercise, it makes it easier to get that. It improves your blood flow and circulation. So when we're doing all that cardio work, and then we start slowing down, we get into our cardio cool down, and then the rest of our exercises, we have blood circulating to our hands and our fingers, our feet and our toes, all parts of our body, especially our brain. So that's a good thing. Decreased risk of falling. We don't want falls. We know what happens with falls is a bit of a domino effect with a person's health. So if we can prevent a fall, we definitely want to prevent falls. Reduces feelings of stress. Nobody likes to feel stressed out. So yes, reduces feelings of stress. Enhances mental abilities. They say that it's like a miracle grow for the brain. It's a BDNF. It's an enzyme that seems to be present after cardiovascular exercise, and the secret is it's got to be fairly intense cardiovascular exercise to be able to get the benefit from this protein. But they did some studies in Chicago, some school children there, kids that exercised first and then they went to classes, did very well. Their marks actually went up. They just seemed to be more aware, more ready, prepared to learn. Their brains were like sponges. So it's the same thing with exercising. So after these exercise classes, might not be a bad idea to try and do something that's going to stimulate yourself mentally. It's going to reduce constipation. Not a sexy thing at all, but it's a reality. As we get older, it does get more challenging to go to the washroom. And with exercise, we're jarring things, we're mixing things up, so it's making it easier to come on out. Continue to live independently that much longer. Who doesn't want that? Reduce risk of chronic diseases. Yeah, chronic diseases like diabetes type 2. We have osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, and of course heart and lung disease. So sounds like a pretty good list of benefits to me. So no reason to not exercise or to start exercising. So go through a few shout outs here before I touch on one more thing. We have Teresita, we have Chris, Ross, Karen and Robin, Louise, Ken and Joan, Sheila, Jennifer, Paloma, Julien, Lori, Nanita, all the way down in the Philippines. We have Christine, Barbara, Mike, Donna, Nora, Melissa, Haley, P.H. Gulner, John, Krista, Tim, Sue-Ann, Paulette, Sophia, and hopefully my dear old mom in Dauphin, Manitoba. Okay, so before we get exercising here, I just wanted to bring to your attention, if you're a person who's living with Parkinson's disease, we have the Act on Time information. It is a great, awesome resource that if you haven't heard about it, definitely check it out on the Parkinson Canada website, and you'll get more information there. Or if you have a relationship with your CDC, your Community Development Coordinator, great resource for both people who are living with Parkinson's disease, your caregivers, and your healthcare team. Just really kind of stresses the importance of taking your meds on time. So if you're in a hospital, they're able to, the nurses and the healthcare team that's going to be around there, they're going to know that if you are living with Parkinson's disease, you need to have your medication brought to you and given to you at set times. We need that set times. It just helps regulate everything involved with taking medication. Okay, so yeah, that is Act on Time, and you can get more information at parkinson.ca or 1-800-565-3000. Definitely worthwhile checking this out. Okay, enough me blabbering. Let's get exercising. I better adjust the camera here. So if you need to have a sip of water, now would be a great time to have a sip of water, like I'm gonna have one. Move my chair back. So just make sure the area that you're going to be exercising in is a nice, safe area. If there's no coffee tables around, that if you were to trip and fall, that you would hit your head on. If there's any area carpets, just pull them out of the way. We don't want any of that. If you're wearing shoes, ideally you want shoes with laces and or Velcro or tight-fitting shoes, preferably again with no heel. If you're wearing flip-flops or sandals, I would say it's more safe. It's better to be exercising probably barefoot than to be wearing flip-flops or sandals. Okay, one last sip of water. Here we go. You know how we start off our classes. We start our classes off the same way every single time. So we're just going to think about our posture. If you're sitting down, you're going to sit up nice and straight. If you are standing, let's get your feet wider than your shoulders. And I'm just going to adjust the camera out just a little bit more here. There we go. That's better. Posture, shoulders, tuck in our chin. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to focus on our breathing. I want you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Opening our eyes, being present, being in the here, being in the now. All right, we're going to raise our hands above our head, breathing in and out. Big breath in and out. Last, big breath in and out. Alright, I'm already starting to feel better. Okay, we are going to do our slap, clap, snap. That is slapping our thighs 5 times, clapping our hands 5 times, and then snapping our fingers 5 times. We are going from 5 down to 1 and back to 5. Ready, gang? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, yeah, so the purpose of our warm-up, of course, is to prepare our mind and our body for our exercise class ahead. So it's nice little exercises like that, just kind of more fun than anything, but yeah, do cue us in to what we're getting ourselves into here. It's also a really good time to monitor yourself right now. If you're feeling up to exercise, fantastic, continue to follow along. If you're not feeling good, you know what, that's all right. There's some days that are like that. These classes are recorded. You can come back to the classes when you're feeling a lot better. All right, so now we're just going to start off with some ankle rotations. We haven't done these for quite a long time, so I'm just going to ask you to lift one foot off the ground. We're going to rotate our ankle one way. Stop. Now let's rotate our ankle the other way. And stop. What we do to one foot, we're going to do to the other. Let's rotate our ankle. Let's think of our posture, sitting up nice and straight. And stop. Let's rotate our ankle the other way now. Alright, so now we're going to bring your arms front, shoulder height, and down. Nice and slow, very controlled. Again, this is just our warm-up. We're building our heart rate up, building our breathing rate up. This time when you raise your hands, let's make a fist and down. Work on our grip strength at the same time. Fist and down. Fist and down. Last one. Fist and down. Okay. From here, no arms. We're just going to put our heel out front, together, tip to the side, and back. Other foot, front, together, side, and back. Changing feet, front, together, side, and back, front, together, side, and back. Okay, we're going to pick up the speed a little bit. Together, side, and back, front, together, side, and back, front, together, side, and back. Other foot, front, together, side, and back. One time, last time, together, side, and back. Last one, front, together, side, and back. Okay, now we're just going to switch arms from one side to the next. Okay, so we're approaching the end of our warm-up here. If you're still feeling up to following the classes, we're going to be transitioning into our cardio section, which of course is lasting about 15 to 20 minutes in duration. And we're looking at continuous movement. So if you get lost anywhere along the way through the choreography or any instructions that I'm giving, the big thing for you is to keep on moving. So it could be marching on the spot, it could be swinging your arms back and forth, it could be waltzing. Whatever it is, we just want to have some continuous movement. We are exercising our heart and our lungs. Our larger muscles are typically getting a majority of all the blood. For those of you that are standing up, you're working on your balance at the same time. Okay, one arm and the other arm. Both arms together. Alright, so that's it for our warm-up. So if you need to have a sip of water, now would be a fantastic time to grab a sip of water like I'm going to do. And yes, we are getting ready for our cardio section here. Oh man, that tastes good. I like Winnipeg water. Okay, sitting up nice and straight, thinking of our posture here. The first thing, we are starting off with cross-country skiing. Cross-country skiers typically have the best VO2 max. That's a way to measure somebody's fitness level. And cross-country skiers, the Olympic cross-country skiers, typically come at the top. So they're like the most fit athletes out of anybody out there. So this can be a little bit challenging. We're going to try and modify it, keeping it a little on the easier side for today. So if you're sitting up, sit up nice and straight. If you're standing, just make sure you have a nice area around you. We're just going to work on our arms first. One arm goes forward, and then the next. Pretending you have some ski poles in your hands. Forward and forward, forward and forward. There we go. Nice, good pace. So it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster that we're going to go on with our cardio section here. I'm going to build you up. We're going to go up a little bit higher, make things a little bit more challenging, faster. We'll take it down a little bit, then we're going to go up a little bit higher. So we're going to culminate at about the 15 to 20 minute mark, and then we're going to slow things down with our cardio cool down. Forward and forward, forward and forward. Alright, so now we're going to just do one arm and two, other arm twice, one and two. Changing arms twice, one and two, other arm, one and two. One and two, one and two, one and two, one, and who would have thought of cross-country skiing in August? And two, one and two. Here we are, we're skiing in August. And two, one, and now we're doing three per side. One, two, three. Change it up. One, two, three. Changing arms. One, two, 3. Changing arms. 1, 2, 3. Now we're doing 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Changing arms. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get some smiles on our faces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and down to 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't know about you, but I feel my heart rate getting up higher. 3. 1, 2, 3. My body's getting warmer. 2. Natural response. 1, 2, 3. Now we're doing 2. 1 and 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 2. 1. And we're alternating. 1 arm. And there we go. All right. We got our cross-country skiing arms figured out here. Nice and strong. Let's pick up the pace a little bit. We're just going to pick up the pace before we add in the legs. Forward, 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 forward. Forward, 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 forward. Forward, 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 forward. Forward, 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 forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowing it down. Okay, that's it for our arms. I'm going to stand up to demonstrate the legs. So our legs are going to be going backwards, together, backwards, together, back, together, back, together. All right. So for those of you that need to work out a little bit harder, you can bring your foot out further like that. Everybody else, if this is as far as you can go, that's as far as you can go. Again, it's not a competition. You find your comfort level. We do want to challenge ourselves, of course. That's where the magic's going to happen. When you challenge yourself, when you push yourself outside your comfort zone. Back, together, back, back, together, back, together. So now, we're going to do the same thing with our legs as we did with our arms. We're going to do 2 times on one side. We're going to build it up to 4, and then bring it down to alternating. Back, together. You ready, gang? Here we go. 1 and 2. Other side. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. All right. There we go. And 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1. And now we're doing 3. 1, 2, 3. Change it up. 1, 2, 3. Changing here. 1, 2, 3. Change it up. 1, 2, 3. All right. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Now we're doing 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Changing here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Last ones. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Last one. 1, 2, 3, and now we're doing 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're doing 2. 1 and 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 alternate. 1 foot and the next. 1 foot and the next. 1 foot and the next. 1 foot. And all right, gang. So we got our legs. We've completed our arms. Now how about we put it all together? Ready? Here we go. So if your left foot's going back, your right arm should be going forward. So it's going to look like this. For those of you that need to work out harder, you can have a larger, more pronounced movements. Everybody else, I'm going to do it from a seated position here. Keep going, keep going. I said I'm going to do it from a seated position. So same thing. It is more challenging to do it sitting down. So you're going to be benefiting more by doing this exercise if you are sitting down. Unless, of course, you want to work on your balance, then you have to be standing up. All right. Old Mr. Squirrel there is probably upset with my cat, Kona. She's outside right now. They don't like each other. Skiing in August. Who would have thunk? All right, so we're going to pick up the pace just a little bit here. Again, it's that roller coaster. All right. Skiing in August. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowing it down. Okay. Whew. Feel that ticker ticking. Breathing deeper and faster, but feeling good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. March it out. March, march, march and march. March, 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 march. Let's think of our posture. Sitting up nice and straight if you're sitting. If you're standing up, let's get some big smiles on our face here. March, march, march and march. March, 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 march. March, march, march and march. March, 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 march. Okay, so we're going to pick up the pace a little bit. We're going to go for a little bit of a run before we slow it down. Then we're going to do some wides and narrows. And then we're going to eventually get into some V-stepping. Yes, the dreaded V-step. So let's pick up the pace first. Here we go. March, march, march and march. March, 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 march. March, march, march and march. March, 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 march. All right. Think of all those Olympic marathoners, all those people that have trained, all those runners, all those miles they've put on. They can do it. So can we. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow it down. March, 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 march. March, 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 march. March, march, march and march. March, 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 march. One more quick run here. Won't be as long. Here we go. March, march, march and march. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow it down. Okay. So now it's come to the wide, wide, narrow, narrow. So when I say wide, you're just going to step wide. And then when I say narrow, step narrow. So we'll start it off slow at first. Bring it wide. Hold it wide. Wide, 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 wide. Wide, 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 wide. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it narrow. Narrow, 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 narrow. Narrow, 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 narrow. Narrow, 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 narrow. Narrow, 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 narrow. Let's bring it wide. Hold it wide. Hold it there. All right. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow it down a little bit. So now we're going to get into the wide, wide, narrow, narrow. So it's going to be 2 steps wide, then 2 steps narrow. I'm going to stand up to do this. Here you go. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Narrow, narrow. Wide, 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 narrow, narrow. Narrow, 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 narrow. Narrow, 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 narrow. Wide, 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 wide. Wide, 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 wide. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow, wide, wide. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep it narrow. Okay, no arms, just our legs. How was that? Okay, a little bit longer. When we've done our cardio section here, we'll transition into our cardio cool down. So I talked about that dreaded V-step, so we're going to try that dreaded V-step. So it's going to look like this. So our one foot's going to go to the 2 o'clock position on the clock. Then your other foot's going to go to the 10 o'clock position on a clock. Then one foot will come back to the 6, and the other foot will come back to the 6. So it's going to look a little like this. 2, 10, 6, 6. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 2, 10, 6. So let's get some upper body. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 2, 10, 6, and 6. All right. 6 and 6. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. All right. Not so bad once you get into the rhythm. If you can just do the legs, by all means, you can just do the legs. Or if you feel more comfortable just doing the arms, you can just do the arms. Again, the big thing that we're looking at is continuous movement here. We're exercising our heart and our lungs. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow march. Okay, so now we're going to transition into our cardio cool down. Believe it or not, we just finished our cardio. So a nice slow march. No arms, just our legs. We're going to start decreasing our movements, making them smaller. Again, the older we get, the harder it is to pick up speed. And then, of course, the opposite is true. The harder it is to slow things down. So we got to make sure that we're making time to slow our heart rate down, bring our breathing rate down, get all that oxygenated blood that has been going to our big muscles, circulating to different parts of our body. 2, 10, 6, 7. All right. So from here, I'm going to transition into some heel taps, stationary heel taps, bringing my heart rate down even further. Tap, tap, tap. tap, 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 and tap, 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 tap. Other side. Tap, 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 and tap, 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 and tap, 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 tap. Okay, so from here we're going to pick some apples. We're going to reach up and across our body. We're going to grab an apple high up in the tree. I'm going to ask you to pull it down, put it in the basket, and we're going to see another apple across our body, up, pull it down, put it down, across and up, down, drop it in, up, and down, up. Now we're going to reach out in front of us. So in front one way, and then the other. Again, purpose of our cardio cool down here. We don't want to have a big shock to our heart. So we're slowly bringing our heart rate back down, closer to resting. All right, out and across. Well, we just finished our cardio warm-up, our cardio and our cardio cool down. Now we're going to get into our strength training. So for our strength training, you will, if you have some, again, I'm using the old trusty chickpeas. This is going to be my weight resistance. If you don't have anything, like if you don't have any TheraBands or surgical tubing, or you don't have any hand weights or any cans of soup or cans of beans or books or anything to hang on to, you don't need them. We can use gravity. For those of you that have some sort of hand weights, I'm going to demonstrate what we're going to be doing over here. I can do everything from a seated position, but if you prefer to stand up, you can stand up. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to work our largest muscle in our arms, and they are our biceps. These muscles right here. These are our flexors. These are the ones that allow us to pick up groceries, allow us to pick up wood to put into the fire, pick up your grandchild. Okay, so let's think of our posture. We're going to keep our elbows nice and tight to our body. Our palms are facing forward. Let's get some nice big smiles on our faces. We're going to be nice and slow and controlled movement up and down, up and down. Now we want to do this nice and slow because A, it's safer, but B, maybe just as important, is the fact that you're going to get more benefits. It's harder to do something slow like this. Instead of going fast, you're actually getting much more of a workout going slow. I'm going to do 2 more. Up, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. Last one, up and down. All right, just shake it out a little bit. We're going to do a bit of a circuit here. The next thing we are going to do are they're called front arm lifts. So what I'm going to ask you to do is that you're going to have your palms facing your body, and you're going to raise your hands up to shoulder height and down. Shoulder height and down. Arms are straight. There's 3. And down again. Nice, slow and controlled. Here's 4. Down, 5, and down, and the last one, 6, and down. Okay, now we're going to do our bicep curls again. Again, the big benefit from doing strength training, if you're a person who's living with Parkinson's disease, it shows that it's really helping out with your bradykinesia. If that's one of the symptoms that you have, you're going to be recruiting more muscle fibers when you are doing strength training, and the more muscle fibers that we're going to have, the better it's going to help in relaying that signal, getting that dopamine across the junction there, across the synaptic junction, and getting the signal to our brain, and the brain talking back to our muscles. So the strength training, we are developing muscles, and that's what we want, or at least, at very minimum, maintain what we have. Okay, let's think of our posture, sitting up nice and straight, shoulders are back. We're going up, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. Up. And down. Up. And a nice little chickadee nearby here. 4. And down. 5. And down. Last one. 6. And then we're going to do our straight arm raises again. So it's going to ask you to have your palms facing towards your body. Think of your posture sitting up nice and straight. Bring your hand up to shoulder height. And down. There's 1. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. Last one. And 6. Whew. Feel that one. All right. I'm just going to put my cans of chickpeas to the side. Now we're just going to be working with some gravity over here. Okay, so we are now going to do our mini sit-to-stands. We're not going to do the full sit-to-stands. We're going to do the mini sit-to-stands because they are just as hard to do as a full sit-to-stand. So I'm going to turn my chair so you get a profile shot of the way I want you to do this. So when we're doing our sit-to-stands, it's important that we keep our upper body nice and engaged, nice and tight if you can. Sitting towards the end of your chair. Shoulders are back. Feet are nice and wide. I'm going to have my arms out in front. I'm just going to go up for a couple inches and down. Now you're going to be feeling this right in here. These muscles here are your quadriceps. These are big, big muscles in your body, the largest in fact. So you're going to feel them burning just a little bit. If there's pain, we don't want pain, but a little bit of soreness, we can live with that. Going up and down. We're doing 6. That's 1. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. Whew. That was good. That was a tough one. All right, from here we are going to do straight leg raises. We did straight arm raises. Now we're going to do straight leg raises. Just going to stick one leg out in front, nice and straight, lifting up and down. If you're standing, it's going to look like this. I'll do these standing up, but you can do this again. You know what it looks like. From a standing position, I'm going to have my hand on the chair. My leg is going up and down. So we're going to do 4 per side. Ready, gang? Here. Away you go. Up, 2, 3, and down. 2, 3. That's 1. Here's 2. And 3. Here's 4. Other leg now. 4 per side. Going up, 2, 3, and down, 2. Of course, if you're standing up, you are working on your balance right now, and that's a good thing. 2 more. Halfway done. Up. Down, last one, up, and down. Woo. Feel that in the old hip flexors there. That feels good though. I'm okay with that. So the next thing that we are going to do, we're going to work on our grip strength. We'll come a little bit closer to the camera for this. So with our grip strength, just have your hands out like this. Just going to make a fist, hold it there, hold that fist, and relax. We're going to try that again, making a fist, holding it there, and relax. 2 more times, making a fist, holding that fist. There you go. And relax. Last one. Making our fist, holding it there. We're going to hold it a little bit longer now. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And relax. Whew. All right. Can you believe it? We're done our strength training now. So we finished our strength training, our cardio cool down, our cardio and our cardio warm up. We're more than halfway done our class. That's awesome. Okay, so now of course we were working on our balance. There's a few things that we can be doing. A lot of these have to be done from a standing position. So if you're sitting down, I would suggest that maybe you try and do some of this, continue with the strength training exercises, or you could do the leaning forward, putting the weight of your upper body onto the balls of your feet, like you're getting in and out of a chair. Whatever you want to do is best for me. Everybody else, if you're able to stand up and follow along here, we are going to do our one-legged stand, of course. You can bring your knee up in front or bring your foot to the back, balancing on one foot. As you can see, I've got my hand on a chair here for a little bit extra stability if needed. Standing on one foot and down. Do to one side, we're doing to the other. Up, holding it there. Let's think of our posture, gang. And down. Now I'm going to challenge myself a little bit further. I'm going to take my hand off the chair. I feel comfortable doing that, but if you don't feel comfortable, by all means, just keep your hand back on there. Holding it there. And down. Holding it there. And we're going to add one more component to this. So if you want to hang on to the chair, you can hang on to the chair. We're going to bring our knee up. We're going to call it a can opener. We're going to open up wide and down. Up, wide, and down. Up, wide, and down. Last one. Up, wide, and down. All right. So now you know what we do. We typically shift our weight from one side to the other. So you're just shifting your weight to one side. You can have a hand on the chair there if you need, or a wall. As you can see, I'm keeping my toe on the ground, leaning to one side. Holding it there. I'm going to lean to the other side, keeping my foot on the ground. Holding it there. Okay, this time when I do it, I'm going to lean over to this side. I'm actually going to bring my foot up off the ground. If you feel comfortable, you can do this. If you don't feel comfortable, you keep both feet on the ground still. Foot is up and off the ground. I'm leaning back the other way. Toes off the ground. I'm going to even make it more challenging for myself. I'm actually going to let go of the chair. I'm just going to balance one side. If this is too much for you, by all means, you can keep your hand on the chair. You can even keep your foot on the ground. But for those of you that can. Now my brain is processing all this information, sending all the signals to my brain, to my muscles. So my muscles are making all those micro adjustments to keep me standing upright. So it's in my hips, making little adjustments, keeping my core tight. My knee is making little movements to keep me balanced on the other way. Again, find your comfort zone. You do need to challenge yourself, but you don't want it to be dangerous. Again, your mind is remembering all this information. So if ever you need it, you're able to keep on standing up. Good to challenge yourself. All right, now we're going to finish off our balance training with a little bit of rocking. So what I typically do is that we're standing with our feet wider than our shoulders, and then I'm going to put one foot in front of the other, slightly. I'm going to lean forward. And now I'm going to lean back. You could have a hand on a chair or a wall if you needed. Leaning forward. And back. Okay, feet side by side. Now we're going to put our other foot forward. Feet are still wide. and staggered. I'm leaning forward. You probably see my knees just making tiny little movements there. And back. Forward. And back. All right, we'll finish it off with a little bit of Johnny Cash. We're going to do our walking the line. So pretend there's an imaginary line in front of you. We're going to put one foot in front of the other. I'm going to ask you to walk forward. If you need to have a hand on the wall, you can do that. This is a good balance exercise. And now we're going to go back. One more time. We're going to go forward. Again, these are things that you can practice on your own as well. The more perfect practice you do, the better the chances of having success when you need that success. And back. Perfect practice makes perfect. All right, gang. We just finished our balance training. Now we're going to transition into our flexibility. So we are going to do a hamstring stretch. So you can do it from a standing or a sitting position. I'll demonstrate standing up, but I'm going to do it sitting down. From a standing position, I'm going to put one foot in front of the other. And I'm just going to lean back like this. And you'll feel a stretch along the top part, backside of your leg. As you can see, I have my hand on a chair there. From a seated position, it'll be very similar. So I'm going to be sticking one leg out in front. And I'm going to lean forward, not down, but forward, keeping your head held high. Oh, that feels so good. Feel that stretch in your hamstring. Get some smiles on our faces. And back. Now we're going to put our other foot forward. Leaning forward, not down, but forward. Hands out in front. Continuing to breathe. Feeling good, almost done our class here. Feel that nice long stretch along your hamstring. Back one more time, each side. Leg goes out. Leaning forward. Feel that stretch. Last time, foot out in front, leaning forward. Oh yeah, feel it, feel it, feel it. Alright, now from here what we're going to do is that we are going to do our inner thigh stretch. So for our inner thigh, we're just sticking our leg off to one side, and you'll feel a stretch along your groin area there. So I'm putting my upper body weight on my one knee, leg out to the side. You should feel a stretch along your inner thigh. Hold it there. We do to one side, we're going to do the other. Ideally, you want to hold each stretch for about 30 seconds in duration. It does take a while for your brain to receive the signal and to send the signal back to your muscle saying, you know what, that's okay. You can continue to do that. You can push a little bit further. It takes a while for the stretch reflex to kind of loosen up. And of course, stretching is one of the best things you can do if you have Parkinson's disease to help manage any sort of pain that you have. Your muscles get really rigid and really tight. So stretching them are going to keep them nice and loose. Looser muscles are going to be sending less signals to your brain. Less pain signals. Now we're going to stretch out our hip. So for those of you that have done this before, there's two ways that we can do this. The one way that we can do is just by simply crossing our legs like this, and you're going to pull your knee back like this. So you should feel the stretch along the outside of your hip. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it, if you have the flexibility, it gets harder as we get older. I know, but for some of you, I know some people out there that are very flexible, even in their 80s, early 90s I've seen. So let's think of our posture. You're going to cross your legs like this. You're going to put one hand on your knee and you're just going to gently push down. And again, you should feel the stretch along the outside of your hip. Do the one side, we're going to do the other, crossing our legs this way. Hand on the knee, pressing down. Oh yeah, you can probably feel that along the outside of your hip. If that's too hard for you to do, remember you can just cross your legs, you just pull your knee back like this. You're going to get the same stretch along the outside of your hip here. There's gusty winds going around. Alright, now we're going to finish it off with an upper back stretch. So I'm going to ask you to interlock your fingers like this. You're going to put your palms out, and you're going to raise your hands up. If you can go above your head, go above your head. If you can't, that's alright. You should feel the stretch in your upper back. Put some smiles on our faces, continuing to breathe. And down. And underneath. We're going to do a stretch on our lower back. Lifting one leg up. And again, on your own time, we're looking about 30 seconds per stretch. The purpose of these classes, we're demonstrating how to do them safely, how to do them properly, how to enjoy yourself, hopefully. And upper back, one more time. Locking our fingers, palms out, hands above our head if you can, holding it there. And down. One more time, each leg, lower back. Feels good if you've been sitting down all day behind a computer typing. Feels good to exercise, take a little bit of stress off my lower back. Okay, now is the time that we're going to work on our Parkinson specific exercises here. So I'm going to get a little bit closer to the camera. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do, we're going to do our finger exercises. So we're going to start off with index, middle, ring, and pinky. Index, middle, ring, and pinky. Index, middle, ring, and pinky. Last time, index, middle, ring, and pinky. Okay, now we're going to work on our jaw. So we're going to work on our jaw for chewing our food, all the little muscles in our mouth, in our jaw region here. We're going to open up our mouth nice and wide. Let's transition to a great big smile. There we go, we're working on that Parkinson mask. Great big smile, gang. There you go. Feeling great, almost done our class. Opening up our jaw nice and wide again. We're working on those muscles. These muscles help us with chewing our food. That's a great big smile again. Working on that mask, that Parkinson mask. Alright, now we're going to do a slight shoulder check. Looking over one side, very slow, purposeful, not too far, but just far enough. You should feel the stretch. Oh, that feels good. Head to neutral position. Putting our chin to our chest. Nice and slow. Head back to neutral. Shoulder check on the other side. Head back to neutral. We're going to do our side cheek stretch. So we're putting the palm of our hand along the side of our face. We're pulling the side of our mouth to the side and up. So we're stretching these muscles right here are the muscles that kind of really work with our lips and can stop us from drooling. So we're keeping them nice and loose so that we're keeping the elasticity that we want. to the side and up, holding it there. And relax. Other side, palm to the side and up. Let's do that one more time each side. Hand to cheek, pulling to the side and up. Other side. Holding it there. That does feel good. All right, so now let's finish things off with our tongue exercises. So we're going to be sticking our tongue out and up. Tongue back in. We're going to stick our tongue out and down. I feel like Gene Simmons there. We're going to stick our tongue out and to one side. Tongue back in, out and to that side. All right, gang, we've finished. So again, these classes are in August now. We are looking at every Tuesday and Thursday. The time of the live broadcasts are at 8 o'clock Central Time. That's 9 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock in Atlantic, and that is 7 o'clock in Saskatchewan and Alberta. And of course, in beautiful British Columbia, that's 6 o'clock in the morning. But heck, no better time to do your exercise than first thing in the morning. We are still proceeding with this year's Super Walk, Parkinson Canada Super Walk. It is a virtual event from coast to coast to coast, so right nationwide. We're still doing our fundraising because we want to continue to provide you the programming that's important for you if you're living with Parkinson's disease or your caregivers. We're also, of course, investing a lot of money in research. We do want to find a cure to Parkinson's disease one day. So yeah, the Super Walk, this year's Super Walk is on Saturday, September the 12th, and we're encouraging you to be walking in your community, in your neighborhood, where you feel really safe, where you're going to be able to enjoy yourself with family and friends whose health you know you can trust. It's the current pandemic right now, the COVID pandemic that we're living through. We cannot have the large social gatherings that we've had in the past. So yes, we're encouraging you to be walking in your neighborhood with family and friends. If you need any more information about this year's Super Walk, check out our website, and that website address is www.superwalk.ca. It's a brand new refurbished website. It's really so much easier to navigate your way through. If you need to find a team, you just have to punch the team name in there and you'll be able to find it. If you want to start a team, you can start a team. If you want to walk on your own, you're going to find out all different things that we're doing. We have the Walk in the Box this year. It's brand new for this year. It's a planning tool that's going to help you plan, prepare, and help advertise and market your Super Walk with family and friends or people in your neighborhood. And then, of course, being able to celebrate on the day of the Super Walk. So if you have any questions, you can definitely check out the superwalk.ca website, or you can call Alejandro. Alejandro is just fantastic. He's an absolute gem. You can call him at 1-800-565-3000. I know that he'll get the right answer to you, and he's like lickety-split. He's really prompt with everything, getting back to people. So with that, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.